The Pope has called for pharmaceutical companies to relinquish their patents over vaccines so that they are accessible to the world's poor. Who does the Pope think he is? Advocating for the rights of poor people? Oh no, that is what the Pope's supposed to be doing. Hello, you glorious army of 4 million miracles. Does the Pope poop in the woods? Who knows? Who even cares? What we know for sure is that the Pope thinks that certain COVID, it's none of my business, certain COVID treatments should be released for the poor around the world. Now, whatever you think about COVID and vaccines, and remember, as you know, surely by now, I have no opinion on such things, not being qualified to have opinions on such things. And even if I did have opinions, I operate sometimes within media organisations and platforms that restrict those opinions, so I wouldn't be able to say them anyway. So it's convenient that I don't have them, as a matter of fact. But the Pope, he thinks that these patents ought to be released or relinquished so that the world's poor has access to these vaccines. And if you're a person who thinks that the vaccines are effective and successful, or if you don't, regardless, let's put that to one side. This is about capitalism and profit, or corporate capitalism, you prefer the term of, don't you? But if the vaccines are good, why not give them to the people who need them? Question mark. Let's have a look. Pope Francis called on pharmaceutical companies on Saturday. Hello, pharmaceutical companies, are you coming out? He didn't call on them like that. He asked them to release patents to make COVID-19 vaccines accessible to the poor. Thinking about these situations, parenthesis, exclusion and inequality, I make a pest of myself with my questions and I go on asking. I ask everyone in the name of God, Francis said. But the Pope must not stop mentioning this teaching, even if it often annoys people, because what is at stake is not the Pope but the gospel, he said. I like hearing questions like that. I like the Pope talking in religious and ecclesiastical terms, because whatever your religion or lack of religion, it's nice to hear principles of divinity, morality, ethics, kindness brought to the forefront, and those principles underwritten by the idea that maybe there's something more important in life than money, like our values are sort of this great treasure that we're neglecting. Nice. There is a stark divide between countries that have access to COVID-19 shots and those that don't, and the gap has widened as some wealthier countries have begun distributing third doses. Moderna recently came under fire for not doing enough to vaccinate low-income countries. The company has been supplying its vaccine almost exclusively to wealthy nations. Now, what that tells you, above all else, is that there's a relationship between Moderna's actions and profit. And in a way, that doesn't need to be explained. But when you're watching the news and it's talking about the pandemic and solutions to the pandemic and vaccine mandates and the necessity for vaccination, all of which are things that of which I do not have an opinion, as you know, you think, well, why are you not talking about like Moderna, Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson making a profit from this stuff? Because we know that these entities only exist in order to make profit. That's the whole point of them. That's all they care about. That's all they do. So if that's not at the forefront of your reporting, you're not reporting on it responsibly. And we can demonstrate the profit motive and the importance of the profit motive by virtue of the fact that they're not bothering. We just want everyone to have vaccines. Oh, these people really need vaccines. We just want people to have vaccines that can pay for vaccines. Oh yeah, don't forget them, they ain't got no money. ActionAid are a charity. This is what they're saying. Moderna, BioNTech and Pfizer are reaping astronomical and unconscionable profits due to their monopolies of mRNA COVID vaccines, upwards of 69% profit margins in the case of Moderna and BioNTech, while Moderna and Pfizer are also paying little in taxes. Say that you want to just extract all controversy and doubt from this complex, ongoing, relatively novel situation. One thing that is not dubious, confusing, or a matter of political affiliation is you don't want big pharmaceutical companies rinsing loads of profits out of a health crisis and then not paying tax on it. And if they do that, then that tells you what this system is. Thanks to their patent monopolies for vaccines, development of which was supported by $100 billion in public funding from taxpayers. What's that? $100 billion in taxpayers? Can we have any of that back? No. Could you charge a bit less so there's less profit? Nah. Could you give it to the poor countries? Nah. Do you want us to trust you? Yeah. Funding from taxpayers in the US, Germany and other countries, the three corporations earned more than $26 billion in revenue in the first half of the year. At least 2/3 of it as pure profit in the case of Moderna and BioNTech. The alliance also estimates that the three corporations are overcharging, pricing vaccines by as much as $41 billion above the estimated cost of production. There you go. That's what it is. That's what it gives you. Robbie Silverman, Oxfam America's private sector engagement manager, says Big Pharma's business model: receive billions in public investments, charge exorbitant prices for life-saving medicines, pay little tax, is gold dust for wealthy investors and corporate executives. It's better than gold dust. Gold dust is crap compared to that. It's dust after all. You want to get it all boiled up into a nice little ingot. I don't know much about goldsmithery. These pharmaceutical companies prioritise their own profits by enforcing their monopolies, then selling to the highest bidder. Pfizer, BioNTech and Moderna have sold more than 90% of their vaccines to rich countries, charging up to 24 times the potential cost of production. Do you remember when they were granted legal indemnity for any adverse effects? Do you remember the kind of conditions that were created for them? Don't you think when you were writing up that contract, a clause could have been put in, we'll have back that 100 billion we give you for developing the bloody thing in the first place, and we're not going to let you make a $41 billion profit. That can go back into the massive expense, both financial, emotional and spiritual, that has been exacted on the people of the planet during this crisis, during the lockdowns. However you regard it politically, it's taken its toll on the human spirit, and we're going to take that toll on you. That could have been put in the contract. Furthermore, despite benefiting from $8.3 billion of public investment in the development of their vaccines, the US companies have not paid their fair share of taxes. Come on, get a grip. This isn't right, is it? You can't have that. No, they're just individual entrepreneurs. They're entrepreneurs. They're self-made men down at Pfizer and Moderna. You could do that. Why don't you start Pfizer? Start your own Pfizer. Instead of complaining about the system, go and start your own pharmaceutical company with $100 billion of investment, and then you can make these profits, like these go-getters at Pfizer. In the first half of 2021, Moderna paid a 7% US tax rate and Pfizer paid 15%, well below the US stat rate of 21%. The low rate taxes paid by these corporations point to a broken and dysfunctional tax system that allows corporations earning billions of dollars to pay significantly lower tax rate than working families in the US. If only some political movement would represent working families, regardless of their culture, colour or creed, bonded together by something far more important than insignificant hot button topics that vary from state to state. Diana Fuentes-Fina, campaigns manager at ActionAid International, says at least 9 new billionaires have been minted thanks to COVID. This truly is the inequality virus. We create vaccine billionaires but fail to vaccinate billions of people in desperate need. Given the vast public investment in the development, these vaccines must be global public goods. Given that Moderna and BioNTech have no significant commercial product besides COVID-19 vaccines, the total profit margins result almost exclusively from the vaccines. While Pfizer is not a startup, plucky old Pfizer, and sells multiple products, oh yeah, you better believe it, the COVID vaccine has been an enormous windfall for Pfizer and all. Pfizer is now projecting $33.5 billion in total vaccine sales for 2021, making the vaccine one of the top-selling pharma products in the history of the pharmaceutical industry. That's really fortunate for the pharmaceutical industry. Pfizer has stated that its vaccine profit margins are less than 30%. No, it's less than 30%. Can we have a look at your financial information? No, you can't. Look what it says. Pfizer provides financial information only for vaccine revenue and not expenses. It's not possible to independently verify its profit margins. Do you know what would happen if you said to the IRS or the Inland Revenue or whatever, sorry, I can't give you that information? It sold just 0.5% of its vaccine doses to the poorest countries. The administration of additional booster shots in rich countries like US, UK and others, while poor countries languish far behind, is likely to increase profits further. Maza Seyum of the African Alliance and the People's Vaccine Alliance in Africa says these corporations have maximised their revenues and profits by preventing others from producing the vaccines and by minimising the taxes they pay. So again, even if you extract the entire medical component of this story, which I'm happy to do, I'm happy to look at it as a story entirely about the behaviour of institutions, governmental and corporate, and the way that they avoid paying their share, the way that you fund the research and they profit from the product. These are things that indicate corruption by another name, crime.
What we do know is that Cinema received over $750,000 in donations from Big Pharma and the medical device industry.
How come these obvious glaring loopholes are never closed? Let's have a little look at Big Pharma lobbying. You'll be familiar with the Democrat Kristen Sinema from Arizona. All told, Sinema has received at least She's received $750,000 from pharmaceutical interests and $920,000 from other industry lobbies. Let's have a look at this little bit of footage of her being bothered at an airport by one of her constituents.
so much. I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
I think it's
And I'm wondering,
quite interesting.
I know you've met with dozens of lobbyists. I did not touch you.
Don't touch me, because then I would have something to complain about. If you've got a question for me, you can lobby me financially, like everybody else.
I'm meeting with dozens. I know you're meeting with dozens of lobbyists.
The world doesn't really
And
work
talking with
anymore.
corporate donors
Common sense.
about the package.
I like that she's really carrying on with our conversation. Yeah, no, what? Yeah, this is important. Yeah, I know. I've asked for an aisle seat. Yeah, peanuts, I'll probably have some. Could you please stop being so corrupt? Sorry, don't touch me. I didn't touch you unless it was my words. No, words don't touch me. Only money touches me.
How many times will you meet with constituents?
Today, well,
How many times have you met with constituents in negotiating bills?
Sorry about
Sorry about this. It's actually my daughter. She's been doing this for years. I just simply will not give her any more pocket money.
I think it's part of the course, right? Part of the
So why
course.
won't you meet with my family, my
interesting.
constituents?
I'd like it if that guy joined in and goes, yeah, actually, Lo, she raises a good point. Have you had many meetings with constituents? No, don't touch me. Don't touch me, you touchers.
I can have them meet you next week. Please answer me, Senator. My family, my house, we're from Tucson. We're constituents.
Could there be a better visual metaphor for the relationship between elected officials and politicians than a congresswoman ascending a staircase made of mechanical magic while the constituent stands at the bottom and goes, please answer me, I live in Tucson. I live in Tucson, Arizona. Excuse me. Sorry about this. Don't touch me! Cinema studiously avoided giving the public any details. Well, we saw that. She's very good at studiously ignoring, don't touch me, don't talk to me. I'm just going to be wearing my red frame glasses, which don't help me to see the truth standing right in front of my face, and I'm failing my constituents. Refusing to speak with activist reporters or even other Democratic lawmakers, like even at work and that. Don't touch me, don't talk to me, I'm putting my glasses on, leave me alone. No, please, would you like some coffee? Don't touch me, don't talk to me. Well, what do you think about what's happening around the world? Whether you have opinions or not on the medical nature and solutions to the coronavirus pandemic, surely you're interested in the way that Big Pharma is behaving. Surely you're interested in lobbying. Surely you're interested in the tax loopholes and enormous profits of these organisations. Surely if you're interested in changing the world at all, these would be areas that you would look at changing. And if you can't find a political party that represents your views here, then you don't have democracy. What you have is bureaucratic support for the interests of corporations that is designed in conjunction with media to manage and control your expectations and keep you spellbound. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Tell us in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe another time. Give us another subscription. We can't get enough of those things. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at this cheeky Charlie just there. Don't touch me. Hey, you video. Don't touch me. And this one for meditation. Don't you touch me. And sign up to my mailing list where I'm going to show you 12 techniques to change your consciousness, to change your life and unlock yourself. Stay free.